Here we have verse 20 of the 5th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus is in a conversation with religious leaders, and he is really astonishing them, I'm sure, by tying himself so closely to the work of God, calling God individually, privately, personally, his Father. And of course, the construction that is put on that by the religious leaders is precisely correct, that he's making himself equal with God, and they must have been losing their equilibrium pretty dramatically as a result of statements such as that. But Jesus, of course, continues to insist that the work that he's doing as a direct result of the work of God, and that thought is continued in this verse. Ho, the article, it's the masculine singular nominative ho, gar, postpositive, for the pater, father, the Father, philae. This is from phileo, means to love. It is notably not the word agape, which is the word that is often used in the New Testament to speak of God's love, but that's a word that actually implies loving in spite of the object loved. This is the kind of love that is based on the character of the one doing the loving rather than depending so much on the character of the one being loved. But in this case, Jesus uses this word philae, which of course is intended to convey that it's not simply a love of duty, but this is a love of deep and abiding affection, a reciprocal love that is shared between the Father and the Son. So Jesus says the Father loves, philae ton huion, the Son, kai panta. This is the word all or every, and it goes in along with that the relative pronoun ha. So everything which, or those things which. And now we come back to the verb deknusen. This is from deknuo, which means to show. In fact, our English word indicate is distantly related to this word. So all things that he shows him, that is to say, all things that the Father shows to the Son, he himself, autos here, the intensive use, and the nominative, he himself does, the Son does. It's a remarkable statement. The Father loves the Son, and everything that the Father shows the Son himself does. And then Jesus even ups the intensity of this even more. Kai medzona. This is, again, the accusative plural of medzon, which means greater. So greater to tone than these. This is the demonstrative pronoun. So greater things than these. Medzona takes the genitive, here the genitive plural. Greater things than these. Degze. This is the future of degnuo. It's the third person singular future active indicative. So greater things than this he will show to him. Greater works, actually. So two-tone going with erga here. Greater works than these he will show him. Hina, in order that, takes the subjunctive. In order that you, humes, this is makes it emphatic, you, with the emphasis there, thalmadzetai, might marvel, might wonder at it. Interestingly, Jesus doesn't say in order that you might believe, because in some ways it is the fact that many of them would not believe. They would certainly be astonished, stupefied at the great works that Jesus would do, and yet even those works would not lead many of them to faith. Was faith going to flow inevitably by seeing miracle? No, it would not. Jesus on another occasion said, if you don't believe the Word of God, you won't believe even if someone rises from the dead in front of you. The most spectacular miracle will not generate faith in the heart. And this is certainly the case with many of these leaders. They would see remarkable displays of God's power exhibited through Christ, and yet even then they would not be moved to faith.